afternoon. At 5 p.m. this afternoon, well, for the past several days, we have been following in strong tropical wave as it moved across the Atlantic into the Leeward Islands and the Caribbean, and eventually into the Bahamas. And we've been issuing reports on these for the past few days, and that was known as Disturbance AL94. So at 5 p.m. this afternoon, looking at our radar imagery along with satellite imagery and other observations, we realized that Disturbance AL94 was gradually organizing and becoming, we've seen signs of a low-level circulation near eastern Cuba. So although this system will not meet the criteria of a tropical cyclone as yet, is expected to become one during the next day or two and affect portions of the central Bahamas and the northwest Bahamas. So as we would usually do, we issue a tropical storm warning for the central Bahamas and a tropical storm watch for the northwest Bahamas, with the fact that this system will become a tropical depression sometime on Saturday and eventually a tropical storm on Sunday and move through the central and northwest Bahamas. So the system right now is moving toward the northwest near 9 miles per hour. And a north-northwest motion is expected to continue for the next 2 days. Maximum sustainment right now is only 35 miles per hour, and some gradual strengthening, and the system is expected to become a tropical depression on Saturday and a tropical storm on Saturday night or Sunday. So residents in the central Bahamas should begin maybe asking residents in the central Bahamas to make preparation for the possibility of tropical storm force winds that could be impacting them in the next 36 hours. So those islands include San Salvador, Ronqui, Cat Island, Exumas, and Long Island. And for the northwest Bahamas, we are asking residents in those islands to begin preparation for tropical storm conditions that could impact them sometime on Sunday. So they include the islands of Eleuthera, New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, and the Berry Islands. Because we expect this system to stay more on the eastern side of the country, we don't expect much activity to be happening in places like Andros and Bimini. So we expect the system, like I said, to move forward and be out of our area sometime on Monday. Strengthening the system could become a hurricane, and that we don't expect to take place until the system is actually out of the Bahamas, moving toward the southeast coast of the United States. Thank you.
We'll hold questions until the end. That's okay. We'll be very brief. I now invite Minister Leon Lundy, with responsibility for disaster risk management.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This evening, the realities of our geography are before us again. Threats come with the beauty of these islands, the price we pay for paradise, but we do not face them unprepared. As you have just heard from the Department of Meteorology, tropical disturbance AL94 is expected to strengthen into a tropical storm as it moves through the Bahamas over the next coming days. I will not repeat the technical details of the forecast, but I want to take this opportunity to speak directly to the Bahamian people about our national readiness. Since Wednesday and throughout the day-to-day, I have been in meetings with the Disaster Risk Management Authority and the Med Department, receiving continuous briefings. I can state with confidence that both agencies are fully mobilized and ready to respond. While there has been some uncertainty in the storm's development and strength, the government has not waited to act. We have been prepared behind the scenes for all contingencies. Now, with a clearer picture of its projected path and risks, we are moving swiftly to ensure that the nation is positioned to respond effectively. I have held briefings with the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, and my cabinet and parliamentary colleagues who remain engaged in the national response. I have also spoken directly with the Minister for Grand Bahama on the state of readiness and members of Parliament for both Abaco and Grand Bahama from all sides of the island. and they have all been informed. Because when it comes to preparedness, it is not about politics. It is about safeguarding every human life. A key part of this preparation is coordination with the Ministry of Works. Minister Sweeting and his team have already deployed crews and assets to address the areas most vulnerable to flooding. This is critical work. If the system strengthens, our greatest threat will be intense rainfall and significant flooding. Drainage pumps and flood mitigation resources are being positioned right now to reduce those impacts. But government action alone is not enough. We need everyone to play their part. I'm speaking to all residents on every island. Complete your preparations now. Secure your homes, check on your neighbors, and make sure your families are ready. Reliable guidance is available at our website, getready.gov.bs. And I cannot stress these 2 points. Please rely on information issued by the Department of Met, the DRM Authority, or trusted official news sources. And please heed any evacuation orders issued by authorities. As we face this system, let me reassure you, the government is fully engaged. Our agencies are prepared, and our focus is unwavering. Preparedness is just not the responsibility of the government. It is the responsibility of the whole country. If each of us does our part, government, communities, and families together, we will weather this storm safely and in unity. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister, for those words of reassurance. And our final speaker today is Managing Director Aaron Sargent, who will bring updates on the government's preparedness.
Good evening, Bahamas, members of the media, press who are here today. Thank you. As the Director for the Meteorology Department and Minister alluded to, there has been a tropical storm warning issued for the central Bahamas and watch for the northwestern Bahamas. As we can tell from these forecasts, we're expecting some broad impacts across the islands as the system progresses. As we know, the system has not fully developed as yet or formed, and there's uncertainty about the development strength, which is why we are here, and I echo the sentiment of the Minister, which is to prepare now. And a number of calls came in today as to when should we prepare. The time is now, as we've been encouraging from the beginning of the hurricane season. As this disturbance moves into our waters at this time, rapid intensification and strengthening can occur. And so while we have a moment to prepare, please take the time to review all of your plans, and as Minister alluded to, disaster management preparation is not just a government task, it's a whole country approach so that we can protect ourselves and be resilient. From the authorities' perspective, we have done our preparatory checks. Over the course of this week, we've conducted our communications tests, in particular with the sat phones. I'm happy to note one of the key things that we have been able to complete this year through the support of the U.S. Northern Command is the procurement of sat phones, new satellite phones for all of the administrators in the Family Islands. Those are tested today and are fully operational, which will allow administrators to stay in contact to provide us with situational awareness should the need arise if commercial networks fail. Family Island Incident Command Centers have completed their readiness checks and are prepared to play their role in response. Additionally, as Minister alluded to, we've been briefing administrators over the last 72 hours. Administrators have been on calls, multiple briefings with us to determine any challenges that may arise. At this stage, there has not been a need to activate shelters. However, shelters on the islands are under alert and watch and stand ready to open should conditions require it. Residents are encouraged to identify the nearest shelters now and visit getready.gov.bs for the updated shelter listing, the 2025 shelter listing, and for preparedness guidance. Relief supplies, including tarp. Over the last few days, we've been mobilizing and pre-positioning tarp as this disturbance is expected to bring a lot of down rainfall. And so we've pre-positioned tarp to various islands where we expect rainfall to be the greatest. where we expect it to be the greatest. In terms of evacuation planning, the authority met with the administrators to develop evacuation contingencies, in particular East Grand Bahama and parts of Abaco, where there may be challenges for residents who may be in low-lying areas, and we're working to develop and finalize our plans. The administrators have pressed to put in place all of the necessary transport logistics components of being able to mass move individuals. I'd like to say and echo the sentiments of the Minister. If you do not heed the evacuation order, first responders will not be placed at risk to rescue you until the all clear is given. I repeat, if you see or receive an evacuation order from the authority, we will not put first responders at risk to rescue until the all clear is given. By refusing to evacuate, you may cut yourself off from assistance when you need it most. Flooding and flooding preparedness, as we discussed earlier, heavy rainfall is expected to be the main hazard. We are in close coordination with the Ministry of Works, who have mobilized their teams throughout the Family Islands and engaged contractors for the necessary remediation work to drainage. Crews are already clearing them as we speak in flood-prone areas to reduce risk and anticipation of rainfall as the system will drain. From a national coordination perspective, the National Disaster Emergency Operations Center will partially activate tomorrow, Saturday, September 27th at 8 a.m., along with the incident command centers in all of the affected islands where there is a tropical storm watch or warning. Members of relevant emergency support functions are being contacted and notified to report to the NDEOC. This ensures that all critical sectors, health, security, public works, and social services, utilities, and others are in place to provide a unified response if the situation escalates. Again, you can find the hotline or emergency numbers on our website, getready.gov.bs, but in case you may not be aware, to reach the authority from the Family Islands only, 322-6731 or 322-6081 or 322-6085. In order to reach the Department of Social Services, their national hotline, which is 24 hours, 322-2763, 422-2763. You can also again visit getready.gov.bs for any preparedness information that you will need. In closing, the DRM Authority and its partners are fully engaged and prepared, but public readiness is equally important. Complete your household preparations, check on your neighbors, have a plan for shelter and evacuation if needed. Again, we echo the sentiments, do not wait, get storm ready. Stay tuned to official updates and visit getready.gov.bs for reliable preparedness guidance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Managing Director Sargent. And I just want to echo what he said, that a tropical watch is now in effect for northwestern Bahamas, and a tropical warning is now in effect for central Bahamas. As you know, we are utilizing the disaster alert system, similar to the market alert system, so people should watch to their phones to receive those within the next hour. And also, he mentioned evacuations. You should expect to get, in the event that there is evacuations in any areas, you should expect to get those directly to your phones via that same alert system. So we urge people not just to be watching our socials and the official media like yourselves, but also to be watching their phones for these important updates. With that said, I will open it up to questions. I think that we'll ask for questions directed to Managing Director Sargent first, so that we can have
Just for clarity, Southern Bahamas isn't being impacted. And you guys have a warning is in place for Central Bahamas.
So that's directed to Simmons.
No.
Come up to the mic, please. In that case, please direct all of your questions for Director Simmons all at once.
Okay, no, we didn't put in anything for this southern, right? The wave itself moved into the southeast Bahamas, so the day they didn't get a lot of rain, heavy rain, thunderstorms. That is like in Agua, Marijuana, Annapolis, and things. We don't expect the system to actually become a tropical storm until it's out of the southeast Bahamas.
Once that happens, I know you all spoke about rain, but what other conditions can people expect, especially considering I know people have events going on, church on Sunday, things happening. Should they deviate from their usual weekend plans given the forecast?
Well, this would be something that would cause persons to deviate from the weekend plans. On Sunday, that's when we really expect the system to become a tropical storm by Sunday, and it would be in the area of Lutheran, New Providence, and moving into Abaco and Grand Bahama.
So those islanders, you would advise them to probably shelter in versus church and other normal things that would happen?
That would be advised because we expect heavy showers and thunderstorms in those days. Additionally, we also expect wind speeds, winds up to 40, 50 miles per hour winds.
Any additional questions for Director Simmons? Any questions for Managing Director Sargent?
Yes. You mentioned that shelters stand ready to be activated if necessary. Are you able to speak to, I guess, will residents have the sufficient time to be able to move if that comes to that, especially those like you who would maybe experience the tropical storm side of this?
Yes, we are making determinations this evening in terms of the activations of shelters where needed, to give residents enough time to move from low-lying areas. So yes, we will provide them with enough time for movement of people. Like I said earlier, the administrators are working assiduously behind the scenes to develop their evacuation plans, and so if need be, you don't have the logistics to move, we will find avenues through the administrator's office to relocate individuals to safer shelters and safer facilities. Additionally, I'd just like to close by saying again, pay attention to the alerts. Evacuation orders will be given through the national alert system via SMS, via our socials, via the media. So pay attention to those evacuation orders and any other updates that the Met Office will provide as it relates to the movement and activation of shelters. Additionally, administrators will hit the ground running. They already have hit the ground running in terms of their local communities and sharing information as they operate. So please stay tuned to all of those channels to keep yourselves informed.
Are there any additional questions? If there are no additional questions, then I'll bring the press conference to a close. I want to say thank you to all of our speakers. Thank you to everyone in the NDOC and all of the Family Island administrators and everyone who was involved in getting us ready today. There has been a lot of work behind the scenes, and there will continue to be a lot of work to ensure that the country is ready for AL94 as it develops. And I also want to thank the media, who are a crucial part of the ecosystem that keeps people informed during this time, which is important. So thank you, and Bahamas, stay safe, get ready. Thank you.